It's Stef's Rock Show, and right now we've got Kristen from Acacia. Am I saying it?
Acacia.
Acacia.
Yep.
Acacia Ridge. How did you come up with that name?
That's a good question. That is the name of a town in Australia where our guitarist lived for a number of years, and we liked that it didn't immediately make you think of the kind of music that we make. So it's kind of a Trojan horse name, and that it makes us sound a little more indie, and then we get to surprise you with the riffs and the breakdowns and the screams.
Yeah, it gets heavy. It's really cool because I read you guys were from Salt Lake, so a little bit of
Yeah.
Australia and a little bit of Utah.
Yeah, we're all originally from Salt Lake, but yeah, our guitarist Flip spent a few years living in Australia, and it was just something that came up when we were looking for band names, and it just kind of stuck.
You guys didn't want to go with Mormons Down Under?
We did not want to go with Mormons Down Under, but that
Okay.
that does have a good ring to it, and it might be the name of an album in the future.
I don't know. I would look into it. I'd be like, what's this band?
Sure.
Okay, so the music video I totally dug, and I was just watching right now is Lose Control. Where did you guys
Mhm.
get all these TVs? How do you just find old TVs?
That is a phenomenal question, and that is just that is the pure dedication of our videographer Stetson, who I believe was already collecting them for a music video he wanted to do for some of his music. And when it came up that we had this kind of idea, he just had a bunch of them. I think we found even more on like, I don't know, Craigslist or whatever, people just selling old TVs for really cheap. Um, and then it was just a matter of stacking them and getting the video shown on all of them. So it wasn't as much work as I thought it would be, but it turned out really, really cool for the video.
Yeah, it looked great visually, and I haven't seen that many old TVs in a while. Who knew if you're selling your TV on Craigslist, you think it's a piece of crap, it doesn't work. If they knew it was being used for a music video, they might would have upped the price a little
They
bit.
probably would have upped the price. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's
luckily
cool.
we weren't advertising, we were using that for a music video.
Yeah. So, have you been in music for a long time in this scene and always wanted to create a band, or is this something that happened later on in life?
Um, yes and no. We've all been playing since like early teens. I think I started on guitar at maybe 10 and did piano a little bit before that, but I know we all played in bands in high school, and then we all met up in 2018. Um, so we've been at it for 6 years or so. Our first album just turned 5 a couple months ago, and yeah, so we've been at it for a little bit, but we got plenty more time and plenty more work to do.
Since you guys started right before the pandemic, how did that affect your band, or how did you kind of curve and still play music or try to perform?
Honestly, I know this wasn't the case for a lot of bands during the pandemic, but it was kind of a blessing in disguise for us because I think that we pre-pandemic were just kind of a cut and paste metalcore band that was really into Avenged Sevenfold and was just kind of doing things by the book, and then everything got shut down for a couple of months, and I think all of us came out of that much better players and writers just because we didn't have anything else to do all day. So it was kind of nice for us in that we got a lot of practice in and grew a lot as individuals and then eventually as a band from that.
Nice. So, who is your favorite musician that you kind of taken a little bit of style from, or just dug so much
Mm.
that you maybe have a similar sound to?
So lately for me, it's been the band Tesseract from the
What
UK.
is that? I'm like, I've never heard of them.
Tesseract, yeah. So this is we're getting into like the prog metal scene. So it's definitely a little bit more niche, but specifically about them, I like the style of riffs that they do are all very complex in like a writing sense, but still not too complex that it's hard to get into. And then their vocalist Dan Tompkins, I think, is just one of the best singers in the genre right now, and I love the range that he's able to bring to their music, and I think that's something that we try to channel now is all right. The first album was a lot of belting on my part, which I love to do, but we definitely have kind of toned it down in some areas and tried to get softer and heavier in other areas. So that's probably my biggest influence right now.
Nice. And is that the band you could tour with if you could tour with any band?
Oh, that would be really cool. We saw them. I saw them live for the first time last year, and it was one of the best shows I've probably ever been to. So Tesseract is certainly high up on that list of bands I would tour with.
Damn. Okay, what about a metal band in the US?
Okay, metal band in the U.S. I was gonna say Sleep Token, but I think they're also British, so I guess that doesn't count.
You have a British
And
fetish.
I
That's
guess
like
we
your
do
thing.
because the other band that just came to mind was Bring Me the Horizon, and they're also British. So
Yeah. Do
I
you
guess
only
I'm
date
really into
girls with,
British
like,
bands.
British accents?
I do love foreign accents, no, but my girlfriend is American, and
Uh-oh, okay.
I don't hold it against her that she doesn't have an accent.
She can do that, like, isn't there some kind of Google you can now do a translation app or you can get an accent. So she can just
Yeah, something from
download
that.
something to get an accent so you'll still wanna sleep with her because it sounds like you need to be British to stay with
It
you.
it sounds like it, yeah.
So are you guys gonna go on tour here in a little bit? What's the plan?
Yeah, probably. We went on tour late last year, and we've been focusing on finishing up our second album for the first part of this year. But yeah, we'll probably look at doing another tour. Um, Probably not the end of this year, but maybe early to mid 2025 is when we'll look at getting back on the road.
Okay. So I've been kind of back in the 90s. We had a 90s band on
Mhm.
recently and just kind of reliving the 90s. So I'm kind of asking people about two 90s bands they would choose from. So if you could choose from Marilyn Manson to Nine Inch Nails, who would you
Ooh.
choose and why?
Um, oh, that's a really good question. Oh, those 2 specifically? Man, I probably Marilyn Manson um, just because it's Marilyn Manson. I mean, Nine
Yeah,
Inch Nails is equally as iconic, but Marilyn's such a character,
yeah,
and that and, like, the musicians that he works with, like, he had John Five in his band for a long time, who I very much admire as another guitarist. Um,
me too. He's in Motley Crue now. Isn't that crazy?
he's in my
Like
I just found that out last week, yeah, that,
from Manson
he's a
to
good fit.
Zombie to Crue, he's just
He's
I
had a
love
good
that he
career.
can go to all those bands, right? Because all those bands
Yeah,
are very
mhm.
different. And John Five's like, I can do it. It's fine. I'll just
Yeah,
blend it.
absolutely. Yeah,
That's cool.
he's had a pretty good career so far.
Yeah, he's killing it. Um,
Yeah.
I think would pick Manson over Nine Inch Nails, but I will say when
Mhm.
Trent got David Bowie to be in the song and go on tour with them, and have you seen I'm Afraid of Americans? The music video
Yes.
with Nine Inch Nails. I love that. It's so creepy and cool. And hey, apparently
That's
I
a
just realized you're afraid of Americans. So that's
apparently, yeah.
a music video that you would enjoy. They have to
Yeah.
be British. Okay.
Mhm.
And I have one more question. I didn't know you were this reddish. Do gingers have souls?
You know, I'm not that it's just really in certain lighting. I get more in my beard than my hair, but
Okay.
I apparently do have a little bit of that gene in me, and I like to think I have a soul, but, you know,
Okay.
I guess I wouldn't know. I've never seen it.
Yeah. So, okay, you have a soul. Cartman is incorrect. It's not.
Cartman is incorrect. Yes.
Maybe it is the lighting, though.
It could be the lighting, but I definitely do have a little bit in my beard.
Yeah. Well, it's cool. Okay. Thank you so much, Christian, for stopping by the podcast and doing a metal update with a new band. And we wish you guys the best of luck. We will tag you guys on everything so everyone can follow and like. Do you have anything you want to plug on how to find your band or about it?
Yeah, Instagram is the platform we're the most active on, but you know you can find us on TikTok or Facebook. We are in the last stages of album two, so we've got another single coming out sometime next month, and then the final single will be the month after that, followed shortly by the album. So watch out for those and stream "Losing Control" is our newest single.
Awesome. Mormons Down Under. You're going
Mormons
to
Down
rename
Under.
the band too.
Yes,